Well, I got to tell you, I sure appreciate you guys having me and listening to, an old guy tell stories. Sometimes not the most interesting thing in the world, but I got just a couple of quick things. When Coach asked me to do this, two stories immediately popped in my head, and both of these players ended up playing some professional baseball. Tony Bucciferro, who played for me in 2006 through 2008. Was in the White Sox organization. He made it as far as Double-A, and he hung around for quite a few years, maybe 5 years or so. And then some of you may or may not know Mike Foltynewicz. Folty played for me in 2007, 8, 9, and 10. Was with the Astros and the Braves, and he's currently looking for a job. And spoke to him yesterday, and things are looking really good for him. So we can talk about that later if you'd like. So the first story I'll tell you is about Tony Bucciferro. Best baseball team I ever had was in that 2005, 2006, 2007 time frame. We just had loads and loads of talent. But boy, in 2006, we knew we had a great team, and we were missing one dominant pitcher. And so we go up to Batavia, and we're playing Batavia. One of the early games of the season is a snowstorm. And it was actually snowing so bad in town here that my pitching coach stayed back. And so he decided, it stopped snowing and the sophomore game was going to go on. And, so he ends up going up and watching the sophomore game, and he calls me on the phone. We're on our way back. We got canceled after 2 innings with Petro. This Bucciferro kid, he is the real deal. We got to bring him up. So we bring Tony up, and he is this goofy, awkward, just really shy, goofy kid. Hardly said 2 words to anybody that year. He's a sophomore. He really didn't have much to say. And the only thing he did was go 12-1, and we make it to the state tournament. And so we're getting ready for the first state tournament game. I think it was on a Friday, I think. So we're getting ready for the game. We're taking batting practice, and Tony was always really goofy before the game. He'd go out and run around and shag balls, like some pitchers do prior to games. So we're taking batting practice, and he's running around. I'm like, Booch, that's it. Get off the field. You're going to get hurt. Go relax. Sit on the bench. So he goes and he sits on the bench. It's a couple batters later. I notice he's out there at shortstop fielding ground balls. And I don't think much of it. I keep throwing. And all of a sudden, I look up a couple batters later, and he's sitting in the dugout. What in the world is going on with Booch? And a couple of the seniors walk up and say, Petro, man, you ain't going to be happy about this one. Tony hurt his finger. Now, keep in mind that Tony Bucciferro is my starting pitcher for game 1 of our first state tournament since 1964. So I immediately flip out, and I go in the dugout. And at the time, I was telling Coach Thomas, Wendy's used to donate all of the cups, the drinking cups. So he's got a cup of ice, and he's got his finger on his throwing hand in the cup of ice. And I said, Booch, what'd you do? He goes, Coach, I took a ground ball off the finger. I said, man, are you okay? And he takes his finger out, and it's sideways. It was completely sideways. He goes, I'm not going to be able to pitch today. I flipped out. I'm going nuts. I'm not screaming at him. I'm screaming at everybody else in the dugout because I'm mad. And so he stands up, and he goes, Coach, I got you. And he pops his finger back straight into place. He was double jointed, and I didn't know it. So story goes, he's running away from me. I'm throwing fungo bats at him. I'm screaming and yelling at him. I think I may have tackled him in the outfield. Truth, the story comes out, the seniors put him up to it. He wouldn't do it. He went on to win that state tournament game, and we ended up finishing 3rd in the state tournament that year, largely in part him. But the story actually doesn't end there. So he goofs around like this all the time. The next year, we're getting ready to play in a regional championship game, and he's our number 1 pitcher. And he's in the outfield. We're taking some fungos, some fly balls before we leave and get on the bus. He ends up stepping on a ball, and he's laying out in the outfield. And so this is at practice, I think the day before the regional game. He's laying out in the outfield, and he's, Coach, you got to come get me out of here. And I just said, nope, not going to pull this one on me again, dude. I'm not falling for that one. And he laid in the outfield for probably 45 minutes to the end of practice. And finally, I walked out there, and he's like, Coach, I'm not messing. he stepped on a ball, chipped his kneecap, and he was out for the rest of the year. We ended up losing in a super sectional that year, which was a game that he would have pitched. So awesome kid, love him to death. We still talk every once in a while, and but that was a story where he, certainly he pulled a good one on me, and then that same story caught up with me in the long run. Last story I'll share with you is about Mike Foltynewicz, and this is a really cool story about teammates and just a really good attitude. In 2010, we were playing O'Fallon, who was a state powerhouse in baseball. And we had gone back and forth with them in the past, but in 2010, we were playing O'Fallon for a sectional championship. It's on a Saturday. And we're playing in Peoria at a public facility in Peoria, and so it's a night game. And we're playing there, and it wasn't Folty's turn to pitch. He had won the sectional championship game earlier in LaSalle, Peru. He had won it earlier in the week, so he wasn't due to pitch. So we're pitching Josh Jimenez. And Josh, a great left-handed pitcher for us. And, he's pitching a really good game, but O'Fallon was a better team than us. And we had this little tiny second baseman, Danny Vogren, hits a home run. Everything's going our way. Like we're winning. I think the story escapes me a little bit, but we're winning 4-1 or something like that. We got a lead through 3 or 4 innings, and tornadoes come in, and we get put in in a gym somewhere. Anyway, long story short, the game gets postponed from Saturday to Monday, and it's the Monday of the super sectional. And the team is waiting for us, the super sectional team, I think Naperville North or something at the time. We're at Illinois Wesleyan. And they're waiting for us to play. And so we had to finish this first game first, the last 3 or 4 innings, whatever was left. And then we were going to play, we were winning. We're thinking, hey, we're going to win. So we could have come back with Folty on enough rest, won that game, and then just figured out a pitcher for the super sectional. But super sectional, they had a stud pitcher, so we knew we had to save Folty to win that game. And listen, we're already up. We're through 3 or 4 innings. We're winning by 3 or 4 runs, and so we're gonna let Josh Jimenez roll in this game. O'Fallon jumps all over. I mean, just steamrolled us. And by the time I could get Foltynewicz ready, the game is tied. Okay, so we're in, I don't know if the 7th or 8th, really late in the game, if not extra innings. We're tied up. And a kid from O'Fallon sticks his bat. Now, you got to remember, Folty's throwing 97 miles an hour in high school. I'm legit. First day he ever pitched as a senior, there were 30 scouts at Andrew High School. It is an incredible scene, but he's throwing 97. This kid sticks his bat out there. I think his eyes were closed. And he hits the game-winning home run off Mike Foltynewicz. And Mikey is balling. Just devastated at the end of the game. This group of seniors were so close. We were destined to go to state tournament. And so at the end of the game, everybody's out in the outfield balling, crying. The dad from the player who hit the home run had the ball and comes out in the outfield and asks Mike to sign the ball. And Mike very graciously, and what a great sport, signed it and said, congratulations and best of luck and whatever. And everybody's crying, and we get on the bus. I mean, these kids are bawling. And so they finally get themselves calmed down. It was the day of the draft in 2010. And Mike got drafted on the bus ride home from Illinois Wesleyan that afternoon by the Astros, the 19th overall pick, signs for, $1.5 million on the bus. And it went from tears of, such sorrow to tears of joy. I mean, everybody was so happy for him and hugging him and crying on the back of the bus, that the kid had made good. So I just thought that's an awesome story that will always stick with me. Sorry to talk so long, Coach, and you guys. Thanks for listening.